Me and my mom were talking, and I was just mentioning how I love the feedback. Like, I thought about this for a long time, and then coming back to me later and saying, this really made me think and really resonated with me. And we were talking about with podcasts and being a creator, how you never know, like, the people's lives that you touch. That we were thinking about how many people I may have touched their lives without even knowing. And so I just love the opportunity to help people and even put them on a path that might benefit them in the long run, even if it's not with me.
And that makes me look forward to your podcast so much more. I hope that once you have that up and going, we can collaborate as two podcasters and see what else we can do with it, because I do love that our messages are so similar and beautiful.
Welcome to Flying Upstream, the podcast where we uncover the choices, practices, and wisdom that defy mainstream conventions. I'm Kristen.
And I'm Louisa. And together we're here to illuminate the alternative paths that have shaped human experiences through the ages. In each episode, we'll examine ways to move beyond societal norms. We're passionate about how timeless wisdom and unique lifestyle choices can foster healthier, sustainable, and enriching lives.
Join us as we navigate, challenge, and celebrate the beauty and insight of walking the road less traveled. If you've ever felt like you're flying north for the winter while everyone else is flying south, you've found your flock.
Today's episode is something truly special because we're not just talking about healing, we're talking about becoming the sound of your healing. Today, our guest is our very unique soul. She is Jessa Davidson. This is not her first time on our podcast. We've had her before, but what she brings today is truly special. She is going to be talking about not just writing songs, but channeling the ones that break cycles. Through her powerful work, she helps people transform their stuck patterns, their limiting beliefs, and hidden stories by creating a custom song from their life, complete with lyrics, melody, and energy. But here's the truly incredible part. She doesn't sing it for you. You record it in your own voice. Your voice becomes the medicine. Your sound becomes the shift. Your story essentially becomes the anthem. This work isn't about sounding perfect. It's about embodying the sound of your own power. Whether the song becomes a personal healing tool, a theme for your business, or even something that you sell to producers. Jessa has shared her story on podcasts about mental health, surviving narcissistic abuse, spiritual awakening, business, and even past lives, because she truly deeply understands what it's like to feel stuck in a story that you did not choose. Jessa, welcome to Flying Upstream.
Thank you so much. I loved that introduction. It was just so perfect. I couldn't have said it better myself. Sometimes I even struggle to like explain what I do because it's like nothing out there before. And so it's hard to get the words, and you just said it so perfectly. Thank you.
Of course, you're welcome. I'm so excited to interview you because we interviewed you in a different capacity before. We talked about past lives and their impact on our lives today. And I personally am a huge, huge advocate in everybody finding out about their past lives, because I think that's not true. I know they have such a big impact on the lives that we're living in this 3D world today. Can you take us back, aside from all of those beautiful things in past lives, kind of a little bit about what brought you to the moment where you realized that music could be a healing tool, not just for others, but for you too?
The first time I started writing songs, it never felt like it was for me. It felt like it was what I was relating to. But even in my videos, I'll say, hi, beautiful reflections of me, because we are all reflections of each other. And so I've just always felt like I am a part of this whole thing. And so when I write songs, they're not just for me. And I share them with selective people because I know it'll resonate with them, and I know it'll move something in them. And just sometimes hearing the words in song, just elevates things in you. It transforms you. You ever hear a song and its words just hit you differently because you're thinking about something specific and it's just the exact song you needed to hear that time? I want to start a whole radio station like that where every song is a channeled message from the angels and your guides, and it's just the exact message you need to hear. I started writing songs to kind of work through the pain I was feeling. And as an empath, it wasn't just my pain. And so I felt like I was giving voice to people, the voiceless, to ones who weren't ready to speak that truth yet and hear that. But I've held on to these songs for years, like 10 years, some of them, some even longer. And so it's like they're ready to be shared. And when you said their voice is the medicine, that's actually what my songbook is called, of all these songs that I've created that have helped me transmute pain into positivity and realign with my purpose. And it's just been really powerful, and I want to share it with people so they can kind of get a sample of like what these songs are like. And I've tried using AI to write songs. I really have. And when I use it to try and explain my business, it'll give me like these little snippets of songs. I'm like, that is not the same. It writes good lyrics. It really does, but it doesn't resonate in the same way. And it's so inauthentic. You can tell that it's AI generated because, and so to have a way to channel from source, and not only in tarot and that kind of thing or psychic mediumship, but also in song, which is what most people in the world resonate with. When you hear that question, would you rather lose movies or songs? Well, movies wouldn't be anything without the songs. So, like you don't feel this emotions without the music. So music is what brings out the emotion in people and how you resonate with a message. And
You made such a good point. So I have a daughter and she's an artist. She's a visual artist. She draws, and one of the things that she really dislikes is AI. There's a whole name, not so positive name for people who use AI art that she has for them, but you made such an important point that reminded me of her comment, because she said, Mom, there is no soul in their artwork. There's no soul. There is no emotion. You take the emotion and the feeling part out of it when you create art, which is music, from a place of AI. AI cannot feel. What is the one thing in my viewship that separates us from every other living creature on this planet is the fact that we are feeling and sensing beings, right? So if we take that out of what we do, then what is different? Then what is powerful? It's like we're taking the power right out of it. And I love that you said that, because I think it's an important point with everything that's going on in the world right now. But I want to go back to what you said about your songs and your book. Years. That's what I wanted to get back to. 10 years of songs and lyrics. Is it fair to assume that it's kind of the documentation of like your healing journey?
Oh yeah, it's definitely, and they include dates. So you can see like, well, for me at least, because I was there, but like I can look back at this songbook and say, at this time, this is what I was going through. Kind of remember my memories of, okay, this is how it helped and this is what I transmuted. And it's not in chronological order. It's actually in order of the things you go through. Like first you'll go through this and then you'll go through this. The timestamps on the bottom are actually really interesting because I sign them with the date and my name. And then it's like, okay, this is a timestamp of when someone else went through this too, and I'm not alone. Or maybe it relates to a time when you were going through the exact same thing and you can be like, I wasn't alone in this journey. And have you ever heard that poem, The Footprints in the Sand? Where
No, I
it's
don't think I
actually
have.
this LDS poem, but it's actually really powerful. It talks about how when you feel like you're walking alone and there's only one set of footprints in the sand, it's because God or your heavenly power is holding you and carrying you. And so those times when you thought you were alone, you were being carried. And so for me, that's what it is like you can see, okay, I wasn't walking this path alone. There are other people. And that's what I want your personal songbook to be. It's kind of like a diary in a sense for me. That's what it really is like going back and reflecting, okay, I look at all this stuff I've overcome. Look at all this pain I went through, and I'm still here and I'm still standing strong. And it's just a resilience thing. It's like, not only does it help you heal, but it also helps you stay strong because you can look back and remember those songs. And my songs play in my head all the time. Like I'll just be doing something that's like just sings that song in my head, and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I needed to hear that, you know?
I love that. And through your work, are you doing and channeling with clients like one on one like this, like sort of virtually to help them for that to come through? How do you do that? I'm interested in how you help other people find their own song because, for example, I love music. As you mentioned, song music is such an important part of my life, especially like the culture that I grew up in. And it's a part of my everyday life lately. I'm always listening to music and I feel like I receive more messages through music. But what you do is sort of get that song out of someone. How do you do that? I'm interested.
So the first thing, so it's a 5 session, like 5 personal sessions, and in each session we'll talk about your current energies. It can be in person or over the internet like this, but essentially we talk for an hour, and while we're talking, I'm doing Reiki, I'm doing energy healing, we're doing tarot, we're getting really deep into the why and finding out where this pain comes from and where this blockage is. And then we write a song to help you see the path forward. And so it's like taking the tarot and the Reiki healing and then turning it into a song. And then when you take the step to sing it, even if you're not a good singer, like it's not about being a good singer. It's about releasing that throat chakra and letting you speak the words that you've been hiding from your whole life and that no one's let you speak, you know? And it's not even a song for other people, though it can be. It can be your business, like you said, it can be your business mantra. It can be a song that you sell and make a whole bunch of money on because it becomes so popular because everyone resonates with it. And that's the thing is these songs aren't just for yourself. They're meant to be shared. And so we want you to share your voice and share your pain. And when you were talking about AI and how they don't have emotions, it made me think like most beautiful artwork, whether it's painting or songs, or it's made from pain and from emotions. And if you don't have that, you're not going to feel it when it, just like you were talking about. And so I just think that, when you have that outlet for that pain, because a lot of people keep it bottled up inside, and a lot of people have tried, at least me in my experience, I've tried every modality out there, and nothing has been as powerful as speaking my truth and sharing my voice, especially on podcasts. Like you said, I've been on several podcasts, and I would not have been able to do that if I hadn't shared my songs first.
Hey, free spirit, have you ever felt called to share your voice, your story, or your unique perspective through a podcast, but you don't want to do it alone? We can help. Maybe you've dreamed about starting, but aren't sure which direction to take, or maybe you feel pulled in so many different ways that you don't know where to begin. That's where the Free Spirit Membership Club comes in. Inside, you'll find resources, guidance, and direct support from Kristen and I to help you grow and sustain your podcast in a way that feels aligned and authentic. And you won't just be figuring it out alone. You'll be learning from a clear framework guided step by step with wisdom and practices that make the process feel less overwhelming and much more sacred. This isn't about chasing perfection. It's about building consistency, finding your voice, and letting your rhythm flow in a way that intentionally connects. You'll get tools, resources, and a supportive community to walk with you through the ups and downs of podcasting. We will help you move from dreaming about the possibilities to actually making it real. So, if you've ever thought about starting a podcast and you've been waiting for a sign that now is the time to finally start, or you want to give your existing one the love it deserves, this is it. Head on over to the show notes and you can find the sign up link there. I can't wait to see you inside. I love this because it brings me to exactly the next point that I want to make. Kristen and I started this podcast, and when I started podcasting well before this podcast, I did it because of my voice. I have always been, that's not me anymore, but I had always been up until that point in my life, the girl in the back of the room. I never wanted anyone to notice that I was in the room. I never wanted anyone to know that I was there, that I existed. I would not make a sound. I would not share my opinion. And so I never spoke my truth in any way, shape, or form. Even as a child and undergoing a lot of abuse, I very quickly learned that speaking up had a negative consequence for me. And once I started podcasting and once I started putting my voice out there, now it's been almost 3 years and I just can't stop. But what happened, it's so powerful. What you realize, as it sounds like you're sharing too, is that when you speak, you're not only speaking for yourself. You may start for yourself. You may very well start because you're like, I should talk, I should finally speak. Maybe I have something to say. But what you realize pretty quickly, at least in my experience, is it's not just about me. It's about the other people who are also not speaking, who are also not using their voice, and the additional trauma, the additional pain that that's creating, the additional negative energetic patterns, and not just for this lifetime, but for all of that soul's lifetime. And then this thing happens, which I think brings us to sort of where we both are, which is like, we're out here sharing our message. We won't shut up because we realize in our own journeys the beautiful healing impact that that has had. And I thought about this earlier when you were saying about having a radio station. But what has stopped you from starting a podcast, sharing these songs and having these streams of consciousness?
So I did start it. I have one episode. I did get past the hurdle of starting it, but it took me 12 years. Okay. I had this idea for 97.3 WWJD. What would Jessa do? I had that whole thing in jail like 12 years ago. And I've been just working up the courage to share my voice. And I took the step. I did one episode, and my next episode is coming out next Monday. I'm actually really considering doing that on TikTok Live, is like people enter a word and then I do a channeled lyric or song or whatever comes through. So that's something. Phoenix Fire Reiki 333. I'm going to be going live soon. And so, but
I love that. And the going live could be sort of like the lead magnet to lead people to your
Mhm.
podcast. So, I mean, it sounds so beautiful. Let me know if I can support you in any way, even if it's
Okay.
just being the one person like that's there
Yeah,
listening or watching to
that would make me
start.
so happy. Then I know one
Or
person is watching.
I would love that. So I'm excited
Yeah.
to hear that you started that.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's so important that the clients sing the songs themselves, even if they don't consider themselves to be musical? What do you think is the important piece in that process?
I think it unlocks something, not only your throat chakra, but also your heart. It tells you you can do something even if you're scared that you can't. If you're scared you're not a good singer, or if all you do is whisper it, just speaking the words, following along with the tune, like feeling it is the most important part. Feeling it while you speak it is, it's like a spell. It's like magic, you know? And you're speaking it into the world, and it's not going to do anything for you if I speak it, then it's just for me. You know, like I can totally do group song sound sessions where it's for everyone and it heals everyone. Because a lot of the times people think sound healing, they neglect the vocal sound healing. And so a lot of the times it's drums or bowls or rattles or whatever. And I think the voice is the most powerful medicine because it's the thing that God gave you in your body to use as an instrument. Your body is an instrument, your voice is an instrument. And if you're not using that voice, the way to be able to feel strong enough in yourself to start using it is to start speaking your truth in song.
What do you think this does in terms of breaking cycles and shifting the stuck stories that a lot of us tend to believe and that keep us from moving forward sometimes?
You asked this question a little bit earlier and I kind of brushed it off, but you were talking about the fear of like getting started and coming over those hurdles. But I would say my music just itself needed to be shared. It wasn't something that I could keep to myself. And so as I kept writing more and more songs, it felt wrong to keep it to myself. And so when you recognize this truth in yourself from writing these songs together and healing what you need to heal, it opens something and makes you want to share. It just does. It's like having a golden egg and you have this golden goose and you just keep it to yourself. Well, if you shared it, maybe you could help the whole town. And so it's just like, it's not right to keep your gifts to yourself. They're given to you to share with the world. Sometimes those gifts are hidden under imposter syndrome and self-doubt and just all these negative beliefs that people have told us. But that's part of the healing session that we go through. So part of pranic healing is breaking cords, chains, and bindings, which are the things that people tell you that you start to believe, like, I'm not good enough or no one wants to hear what I have to say. Those things, we work on those in the session, and then it helps you overcome that and be able to feel comfortable to share your voice.
That's beautiful because it starts with that, with the undoing and really like the whole unfolding process of unlearning everything that society and that everyone else in your life has told you that you accepted as truth. It's like we were told that we're not good enough and we're like, yeah, yeah, that's true. But you are helping people recognize that that is not their truth, that the truth is within them.
That's actually something that I had to go through. That's the biggest thing I had to go through was society's norms. I struggled so hard because I couldn't keep a job. I couldn't keep a 9 to 5. And I've had 50 jobs in 12 years, maybe even more than that. And some of them I didn't even keep for longer than a week. And so it was so hard for me to understand, where is my place in this world? Why am I so different? Why is something that's so easy for someone else? And it took a long time to realize, because I'm meant to be a creator and an innovator, and I'm meant to break patterns and change stories. And it's not something that's been created before. So I can't do the norm because it's not the norm yet. I'm making it the norm.
I love that. That's what we're all about on Flying Upstream, is creating your own path, walking your own path, despite what the world outside is telling you is normal or that you should be doing. That is not what we do here. How can someone know that they're ready to work with you? Like, what do you think are the indicators for someone who's looking to start their healing journey and they're like, oh my God, Jessa's message really resonates with me. I want to do this through voice. I want to do this through sound. And I want to do this in a way that I'm healing, but also creating, because that's a simultaneous thing that you're doing there. You're helping people heal, but you're also helping them realize that they are creators and that they essentially have control over so much more of their lives than they may have originally realized.
I would say that you're meant to work with me if you've tried every modality out there and nothing is working. And you also feel a call to either be a podcast creator or content creator or a speaker. If you feel like you're meant to be a speaker or singer, even if you think you're a singer and can write songs, you can still get something out of working with me, because it's not just about the songwriting. There's energy work that we're doing to make you able to share that voice and release the blocks. I think if you've tried everything to get out there and it's not working, and like you said, if this message resonates and it hits home and it feels like something that would resonate. I think my biggest target market is people that want to share their voice but don't know how and don't know the first step. And I am the segue into actually getting started and actually taking that action step. If you've been too scared to take that action step, and it's because you haven't found the right thing yet. And I hope I'm the right thing.
And for you, listener, if you're curious about working with Jessa, check out the links in the show notes to learn more about her custom song experience and how to bring the voice of your healing into the world. Free Spirit, if you're a rebel at heart looking for your people, join us at www.flyingupstreampodcast.com. We have saved you a seat. Until next time.
All right, free spirits, that's all the time we have for today on Flying Upstream.
We hope this episode sparked your curiosity and ignited a desire to explore the extraordinary paths less traveled.
Even when the current feels strong, a whole world of possibilities awaits.
We'll see you next time on the other side of mainstream.
So keep questioning, keep challenging, and most importantly, keep flying upstream.